What's happening, everyone? Happy 4th. Happy Sunday. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to all of our village people. I'm so glad each of you have taken the time to join us for this special edition of Village Chat, Meet the Cast of Transform. We are excited, and I hope each of you are doing well. I'm so glad that you guys have taken the time to be a part. We told, hey, do we do it on tonight, being that it's the 4th? Don't we do it? Hey, people have different plans. So for those of us who are free, I'm glad you're here. And for those of you who got something else to do and you're watching it later, I'm glad that you're watching this in an archived way. So welcome. And I'm so thankful that each of you are here. Now, let me give explanation to what this episode is of Village Chat. Village Chat is a segment that is run when we are conducting sessions, a transformative process, and there are 2 of them. And this information are for those of you who may be watching and you don't know who I am, you don't know what the 40-day turn-up is, maybe you just saw it. So I'm going to give you explanation. Village Chat is a series whereby we spotlight participants who are matriculating through the said process, either the 40-day turn-up or the Journey 3.0. We talk about them, their lives, their families, etc. We make it about the participant. And on this particular edition of the Village Chat, we're having a special edition called Meet the Cast of Transform. Now, for those of you who may not know, Transform is our own reality show where we are spotlighting 4 participants in the 40-day turn-up who are real life participants in the process right now. Their identity has been not revealed until this point. Their leaders don't know, their buddies don't know, their peers in their groups don't know. Many people on the team don't even know who are the cast members of Transform. So tonight on Village Chat, we're going to introduce the cast of Transform. All of these individuals are individuals who are chronicling their story, and you're going to hear more about that on the production side. And you're going to see how they started, where they started. You're going to see their successes. You're going to see some of their failures. You're going to see the whole kit and caboodle, and we're just glad all of them are in queue now. But before I bring them on, I'm going to bring on my other half, the lovely Lynette.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Lynette?
I'm excellent, Dr. Joe. How are you?
Well, thank you for being my pre-guest to the other guest. And I hear those other screaming children. I think I know who they are.
Yes, they're yours.
Right. So, gang, listen, Lynette is serving as a co-producer with me. All points and all narratives and the whole project, she is very, very integral in the process. And I wanted her to come on first because I wanted to ask her a couple of questions so you guys can get insight about, what Transformed is, kind of the stuff we had to go through, so we can kind of build up the suspense. Ain't that right, dear?
That's right, dear.
All right, so I got a couple questions, dear. You ready?
I'm ready.
And of course, I can't find any of my notes, but hey, I'm going. I think I got it. So, Lynette, when I first asked you about the concept of Transformed, tell me what your initial thoughts were.
I'm like, oh my God, he's crazy. This is just crazy. And then I quickly said it's brilliant because it embodies every single thing that every single person over the last almost 10 years has gone through a transformation. So why not? And I was just, again, amazed and excited about the journey because I knew it was going to be, epic as everything that you do is. So I was like, let's go, let's do it.
So what made you think it was crazy? Like, what was it that made you think it was crazy?
Like, who would think to make a reality show? Like, I mean, that just wouldn't be like my first mind. And I thought, I'm thinking like, how will we do it? And who will we get? Will people respond? What will we talk about? There's, this process, there's nothing like it that exists. So, you are, again, chartering uncharted waters. So I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I mean, who would sign up to like do a reality show? Maybe a lot of people, maybe nobody. Like,
Right. So you thought I was nuts and brilliant at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I got another question for you. How has it been working in the capacity of co-producer with me in this project? How has it been?
Oh man, it has been so inspiring because, there's so many questions that don't have answers, right? And so, you, myself, and the production team are just figuring it out. And it's every time we think that we don't know how to navigate the next step, it's like 2 more steps are revealed. And so, that it's God-given, that God is ordaining it, that He is ordering the steps. And it's just been really, really great. And to see, because I have been a part of the process for so long, it's exciting to see another layer of you in the capacity of producer and that other side of the mind that lends to that area.
Skylar.
I've given her 2 sets of pastas so that she would sit down, and it didn't work. So I just don't know what to do.
All right. All right. All right. Great. Tell me, what were your first thoughts when you heard their stories, the cast members? You know them. We both know them well now. Mm-hmm. Great group of people, and I know that everyone who will meet them soon are going to love them as well. But like, when you heard their stories, what did it make you feel?
I hate to keep using this word, but there is nothing short of inspiring about this whole process. From the conception of it, from the idea of it, to the execution of it, to the team selecting, the people who applied, to reading, having us all read. Okay, sweet. It's great. For us reading their stories and then us talking to them. It was almost like bone chilling to feel like we were on the ground level of something that is going to revolutionize the world even more so than the 40 Days with Dr. Joe. Like, it was just great. Yeah.
I agree. I remember when I was hearing their stories, how you're looking at them and then you're hearing their stories, and you would never think that this person has that testimony. And that's what's rich, and that's what I'm so thankful that everybody's gonna get a chance to see, because it's not just the person, but it's the story behind the person.
Exactly.
And you and I know their stories, and to see where they started, and here we are 4 weeks in, is just amazing. So that's awesome. Now, I want you to talk to the group, dear, about how we've set up production. And we've got 2, because give them insight in terms of how we captured and how we are capturing the content. We got 2. We have a standard kind of production, and then we have what's called self-production. Take the viewers through how we did that and the nuances of that.
Okay, so like Dr. Joe said, we have 2 types of production that you all will see. You have the standard or traditional production where you have a crew, we're mic'd, okay, sweetie. They are mic'd. Okay. They are mic'd and telling their stories to a camera, just like you and I are talking now. And then we have self-production, which is everything else. So we have 3 standard traditional times that we film that you'll see. And then every other element, every other time, you see the participants in their own element at their work, at their home, with their families, every single aspect. So you really get like a full spectrum of their life. And it's not just, like this, Zion. It's not just this like super overproduced thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
love.
Yeah. So, gang, listen, when you guys are seeing this, to Lynette's point, you're going to be seeing 2 different types of production. You're going to see like Lynette said, studio production, and then you're going to see them producing it on their own. And we're going to blend the two medium together to make hopefully a great iteration. So that's awesome. Okay. All right, dear. I want to ask you one final question. I know your hands are full, then we'll introduce them. Lynette, what would you like to see from Transform? Like what would you like to come from this? What do you see?
Ooh, that's such a great
Not
question.
necessarily what you see, but what do you want to see? Or maybe it's both. Answer however you want.
Yeah, what keeps coming back up is, we kept saying that these people are telling stories that need to be heard. And my hope and prayer is that the stories that are told, that they fall on ears that receive it, and that somebody in their life couldn't have told that story. No one else can touch these particular souls other than potentially a complete stranger telling their truth, because it takes such a vulnerable person to be in such a vulnerable place to volunteer to tell everything. And sometimes they're telling things that people in their own lives don't even know. So to have that opportunity to capture that and to have these moments with them to share with the world, what I want to see is them be free telling that story, and that it falls on ears that need to hear it.
Awesome. Well, it has been, I love working. I love you, but I have the utmost respect. I respect you to the utmost as well. And it means a lot to me that you and I, as my wife, as my partner, as my best friend, that we're working on such an important project together. So it's great. So it's been a blessing working with you in this. You've been an awesome co-producer, and we wouldn't be here without you. So love you, dear.
Love you, babe.
I'll be downstairs right after.
You better. Okay.
All right, dear. All right. Thank you. All right. All right, gang. So I know y'all are all anticipating. Want to give a shout out to Lynette. She's done a great job. And let me give a proper introduction to these four amazing souls that you're about to meet. I want to say that I'm so proud of each of them. They've come a long way. To Lynette's point, to say, hey, I want to tell my story. Hey, I want to be vulnerable. Hey, I know I'm at risk of the world seeing my mistakes, but this is something that I want to do. And I hope that what I'm doing is going to help inspire the lives of others. It's something that I have the utmost respect of each of these cast members. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to some and introduce to others the cast of Transformed. We got Don Hazelwood, Jotisha Hyde, Dasha Phillips, and Kimberly Keys. Hey guys.
What's up, Dr. Joe?
Hey, Dr. Joe.
Hi guys.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. How you doing, sir?
We are great.
We know who the comedian of the group is, brother Don. So guys, you are here, gang. All of our listeners, meet the cast of Transform. These four amazing people. Y'all in the comment section, give them a hand clap, because I know many of you all recognize them. They're in your groups. Many of y'all leaders are like, hey, I know who this person is. Gang, how's everybody feeling? Don, let's start with you. We'll go clockwise. How you feeling?
First of all, let me take off my collar.
Okay.
And let me put my glasses on because I can't hardly see. There you go. Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe. Hey, everybody. This has been a wonderful ride. This has been awesome. This has been crazy. Has always been fun. Come on, y'all. No, absolutely not. Dr. Joe, I'm gonna keep it real if you don't mind. I'm gonna talk to the people. This is Village Chat. Let me talk to the people for a second.
Right, but just give a brief intro. Let's go around and I'm gonna pull that out of you. So just give me a few words. I'm gonna come back. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, Don Hazelwood. What else you need to know, Dr. Joe?
Rep your group and your leader.
Dr. Joe, it's gonna sound like you echoing. It's gonna sound like your needle has been stuck. But I'm gonna tell you that group one more time. That's the Men of Standard. Okay, our leader, Antonio White. Tony White.
Shout out.
Represents.
Out Men of Standard. All right. and next we've got Jotisha. Tell them who you are and your group and your leader.
Hi guys, I'm Jotisha Hyde. My group is Lost and Found, and my leader is Miss Dawn Thomas. Excellent woman. Love her.
All right, Miss Phillips, after you.
Hello, village. Hello, family. My name is Zasha Phillips, and I am a part of the Phoenix Risers, and our group leader is Candace Branch.
All right. And last and certainly not least, we got Miss Kimberly Keys.
I am Kimberly Keys. My group is the Dynamic Divas, and our leader is Sarah Mitchell.
Awesome. Well, gang, I am so proud of each of you. We have been on this ride together a little more than a month now. You guys have been awesome to work with, and I can't wait for people to hear more about you. So I've got some questions that I want to ask each of you. I want to do two things. I've got questions that I want to ask the group. So it'll be one question all of you answer. And then I've got some questions that I want to address to individuals. All right. So the first question that I want to ask is, what made you all apply when you heard about Transform, when you first got it in the village? What made you apply to want to be a part of this? Don, we'll start with you, sir.
Well, for me, it was just, I don't know, something that told me that, you know what? Tell your story, because you don't know how many people you can be a benefit to. You don't know, everything that you're saying someone else is also relating to. And honestly, it put a little extra, accountability on my end, that if I know that, all these people are watching me, then, I've got to show and prove, you know what I mean? People are depending upon me, to say if he can make it, I know I can make it. And, to me, it's been, divinely ordered.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? And that was enough for me.
Okay.
Well, for me, it was a struggle. Like, I wanted to do it. Like, I just wanted to do it because I just felt like I have a story and I could help someone that's like me, that's been in toxic relationships, abusive relationships, all those things. And I just thought that my story would help someone. But it was a struggle because it's like, I do not like, I'm an introvert, like to the 100th power. Like I do not like to share my life. I'm always like nervous around people and cameras and things like that. So, but this process has helped me to get out of my shell. So that's a plus.
Okay.
But that was my reason why.
All right, Dasha.
For me, after failing to lose weight, after having weight loss surgery, I didn't know what else to do. I have a heart condition where I where I just faint at any time. And I've tried the weight loss surgery. I've had problems with different quick weight loss options, and I could never get to where I needed to be. So when I saw this opportunity come up, first of all, just being in a 40-day turn up anyway, it was just a blessing. Kimberly's group leader actually introduced me to the program, Miss Sarah Mitchell. Hey, Sarah. And from there, it just took me a lot to realize this is what I needed to do, but I had no other choice. I had no other options. And this whole program has changed my life. My blood pressure was sky high, sleep apnea, on the verge of being diabetic, and then having a heart condition and still not losing weight after surgery. I had to be a part of this. So I was so honored to be selected, and then have an opportunity to meet all you wonderful people and just to learn from you. And, just allow you to feed into my life and just to do this whole thing and just learn and grow. It has just been totally inspirational. So I was so happy to be a part of it. And it's just, like I said, life changing. And I can't imagine life without this program at all. So I'm here to stay, Dr. Joe. I'm stuck in the village. I'm never leaving.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, y'all put in the work. All right. All right, Miss Kimberly, same question to you. What made you apply to want to be a part of Transform?
For me, somewhat divine intervention, I guess. Like Joticia, I'm an introvert. I don't like being in front of the camera. One of the hardest things for me is that weigh in every Saturday, put myself out there in front of everybody. But my story is, and I'm trying to get through today without crying, but my story is child loss. And child loss in our community, for people that look like us, it often doesn't have a voice. You know, people don't understand what it's like. They don't understand what you go through. They don't understand the process. I've been on a struggle of weight loss up and down, hitting almost 300 pounds at the point of despair. I've lost weight, but I always gain it back. And even this year, before this process, I'd started and I stopped. I started and I stopped. So it was somewhat of an accountability thing as well. I felt like being a part, it would hold me accountable, but not only hold me accountable, but transform mind, body, and soul, because I needed to get the things out of my mind that were keeping me, making me continue to go back through that cycle. So I honestly applied, and as I told Lady Lynette, when I was typing, I didn't write anything down prior to. I just typed as I went, and whatever was there, and I hit submit. I honestly never thought I'd get that call back. And when I got that first email, I'm like, oh my word. And my husband was like, you know, it's your time, it's your season, because you're always pouring out to other people. It's time for someone to pour into you. So that was my reason, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sure you know your stories and your testimony is resonating with people who are watching. So that's very touching, and I was aware of those things because we've talked and we've been able to chat. So thank you for sharing. When you found out, all right. So I want to ask you all another question that's similar. When you found out that you were selected, what did you feel? And we'll go back around, and Dawn, we'll start with you. When you got that email, that call that we had selected you,
wow,
what did that make you feel?
Wow. I mean, I was just like, okay, all right, Lord, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do what you basically whispered in my ear to do. You know what I mean? And I just want to, thank, First Lady. I want to thank you for, being obedient to the word of God and choosing me. I just want to be like, I'm just feel like I'm on an assignment, and I'm on to, bring this to all the people who I love, all my friends, all my frenemies, all my enemies, all my loved ones. You know what I mean? It's just ordained. That's the only thing I can think of. It's just ordained. I was like, okay, well, it's time to get moving. It's time to get going. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's all going to entail. I don't know if I'm going to be, everything that they want me to be, but I'm just going to be who I am and just bring that to the table, because I'm an introvert too. No, but but
not.
I'm shy. Anyway, I just felt really, privileged, and I felt really blessed, and I felt like, they don't really know who they dealing with. They are in trouble. No, but I just, again, blessed and honored.
Okay, all right. Jotisha?
Okay, well, when I got the email, I was like excited, but then I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I got myself into? Because when I did the application and I was telling my story, a little bit about myself, I was legit like, you cannot tell the world this information, because I don't talk about this. I mean, people know it, my friends, my community, they know this. But when I lost my son, it was just like the world was over for me. Like everything was over. Like it was it. That was the end. I would get up and, there would be days I didn't want to get out of bed. But when I got that email, I was like, I messed myself up. Like, what did I do? But then I said, God, I thank you, because this process came into my life at the right time when I needed it the most. Because had it been 6 months ago, I would not have been ready. Had it been a year ago, I would not have been ready. So God brought this process into my life at the right time. And once I got the email, that's him saying, tell your story. Like, you got to do this. This is something that you have to do. Not just for you, but for someone like you. So that is.
Thank you. All right. Dasha?
For me, it was pure joy. I jumped up and down. I was at dinner. Actually, I was with Sarah again the night I found out. But I didn't say anything to her, though, because I knew we couldn't say anything. But I was just outside, jumping up and down. And I came back in and everybody was looking at me like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. But I was totally overjoyed. I couldn't believe that I had finally been selected for something. Like Kimberly, I work in education. I'm an assistant principal, so I'm always taking care of everybody else. I take care of over 1,000 children, over 100 teachers. So I'm always taking care of somebody else. And I just felt so special because it was finally my time to take care of myself. As women, sometimes we just focus on everybody else and what they need, and we don't ever put ourselves first. And so I just felt like, you know what? This is for me. I'm like, this is my year. This is the year of me. So since January, I've been saying that. Like every time something happens, I'm like, you know what? This is my year. It's about me. It's finally time for me to start looking out for me. And so it just confirmed the blessings that God has been placing in my life. And again, just totally honored. I was in disbelief, but I just felt so special. I still feel so special. Every time I think about it, my heart just flutters. And I don't know, it's just butterflies every single day. Every video I do, it's a butterfly. Every time I get to see this group right here, they're like my long lost sisters and brothers.
Right.
When we met, we just hugged, and it's a different family, but I can't imagine this whole journey without everybody. And I'm just, still just excited and so blessed to be a part.
Awesome. Okay. And Kimberly, same question.
I'm not crying this time.
Okay.
For me, it was shock. Like I said, I was scrolling through my emails and I saw the email that said booking transform. We would like to talk to you. And I was like, what? Me? Because again, it's like, I don't get selected for things or win things. So it was totally shocked. And I know the first meeting with the first lady, I broke down crying. I think we were almost both crying. And I'm like, okay. She was like, well, we'll let you know by, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, oh, well, they didn't select me, but I'm glad to be a part of the 40-day turn up. We're going to do it. And then when I got the email, I was like, oh my word, I'm really going to be a part. So again, it's kind of shocking to me. I was shocked and I was totally nervous because again, I don't do the camera thing. So this is causing me, a lot of people, when they see me, they don't think that I'm an introvert, but it takes me getting to know you. So being in front of a camera, like I don't like going live on Facebook. I don't like doing any of that because I don't like being out there. Right. So this is actually putting me out there. I mean, there was a time that I almost said, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to back out. But, it was a reason for me to be here, and I'm thankful for that.
Awesome. Awesome. I think we lost Don. Hopefully he'll jump back on. But thank each of you for that. But now I want to ask you all individual questions. And we'll kind of go around, and I'll start with you, Kimberly. Now, again, Kimberly, to all of our viewers, is the captain of the team. So she keeps all of the others in line. Kimberly, she's the whip cracker. She, she ensures that everybody's where they're supposed to be. They're always on time. They've never missed a meeting. Everything has been like clockwork since day one.
Mm-hmm.
So Kimberly, being that you are the captain of the group, how has that been for you, and how has it been leading the others?
I want to say, Captain, it was like a dictatorship. They just told me that I was going to be the captain.
You had no say?
So I had no say. So we got the email about, we had our first meeting, the first taping, and we had to select our next date. So I sent a message, and the day that I sent the message was actually the day that I found out my nephew had passed away. So when I sent the message about everything that we needed to do, I think Joe was the first one to come. I think you should be the captain. And then Dunn, and then Dacian's like, yeah, y'all. So I really had no choice.
Right.
But I just said, okay. And it helped me, honestly, to focus on something else. But honestly, this is a great group. Since the first day we met, we all hugged. It's like we have our long lost cousins, I think, like Dacia said, and so last week we were all having a rough week, but I started out the week, hey, what are we gonna do? We need to kick it up. This is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing here. And it's actually been a great thing. I mean, I'm always kind of that person, like I said, helping people was a part of my therapy, even when I was going through the loss. That's kind of what helped me. I wasn't really helping myself, but helping others kind of helped me. So it helps me to encourage others. It helps me to motivate others. And it's been a good thing for me.
Awesome. That's just great. That's just fantabulous. Well, you've been an excellent leader, and we'll get into that now.
She has been great.
She's been great. I mean, John, I'm talking about Johnny on the spot. Kimberly, the group couldn't have a better captain and leader in you, and I'm certain that they are in agreement with that. So you've just been great. Okay. Yep. All right. Dacia, I want to ask, as an educator, you're an educator. That was one of the first things that I learned about you, besides being a spectacular individual, that you are an educator. And what I want to ask you is, how has this process, and Don has joined us, all right? How has this process, that's all right. How's this process impacted you and your life from the vantage point of being an educator? Wow.
It's been a little difficult, because as an educator, you're always the teacher and you're always in charge and you're always leading. Right. But as we work more in education now, we're learning the art of collaboration. And so being able to work with others, learn from others, share what's working, what's not working, it has been the best process that I have been able to learn what I'm doing with you guys and transferring it to my work. Before, being the assistant principal at a middle school, you got to crack the whip. You walk in, it's hardly any smiling going on. We don't have time for that. There's a business that we have to take care of. But just being in this whole process, it's giving me that balance. So I'm still steadfast with what I need to do and how I need to maintain that. But then I have the balance of, okay, I'm learning, I'm listening, I'm being patient, and not just with others, but being more patient with myself. So through this whole process, Dr. Joe, I've just learned that I'm stronger than I thought I was. And I'm learning my patience that I never really thought I had, but it's there. And every single day I'm learning, and I'm learning more and more about me, about this process, how to balance diet and exercise. So as an educator, it's the best place to be, because, for once we get to be the student. And, being the student, you don't want to be the bad student, though, way at time, you don't want that. But just being that good student and working hard and, always trying to do better and getting better, it's changed me. So every day is a new day. I wake up like I'm waking up smiling. I'm thinking about, okay, when I go to bed, what am I going to eat when I first get up? Okay, what exercise am I going to do? Okay, I got to lose, 400 calories. What's first? Let me see what Kimberly did. Okay, all right, there's Kimberly. Okay, let's see what Joe did. Okay, done. Okay, all right, okay. What are y'all eating?
Yep.
It's like your own little mini village together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's always, it's like school. It's always about the learning and being better and graduating, finishing school, and getting those honors. So this whole process is like my everyday life.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Jotisha, I've got a question for you now. Jotisha, when we first met, one of the things that I noticed, and gang, to those of you who are listening, you're going to hear all of their stories and see all of this when we release Transform. I'll talk more about that once we finish talking. But one thing that I noticed about you, Jotisha, is when I first met you, I noticed that you at first talked about a lot of pain, a lot of turmoil, things in your life. But what I've noticed about you, and not to negate that because we all have those stories, but what I've noticed about you recently is you're completely different. I hear you talking about joy. I hear you talking about peace. I hear you talking about, it's almost like you're a different person. My first question is, would you agree with that? And my second question is, can you talk to us about maybe where that change has come from?
Sure. Well, I do agree. Even my kids have noticed it. That I'm a whole different person, for the better, and they're excited about that. But the pain comes from being in a marriage for with a person for 20 years. We wasn't married. We were married for 15 years, but we were together for 20 years, and he was a narcissist. And Dr. Darcel wasn't gonna cry today. But
I said it too.
Yeah, but so as a woman of God, what I did was for so many years I kept praying he's gonna be better. He's gonna be a better man for his family. He's gonna do right. And then it just never happened. And then I learned to forgive him. I learned to forgive a lot of people, even though before this process it was like, okay, I forgive, but I was still holding on to those things. But this process, even like the pre-work itself changed my life. Like the pre-work taught me about more so how to love myself and for, to be okay. It's okay. I learned a lot of stuff about myself, y'all, that I was like, girl, like you a piece of work sometimes, right? So for real, I was like, because I was expecting a lot of people. I was expecting things. I was expecting me from people. That's what I was expecting me from people. I expect people to treat me the way I treated them, and that's just not how it was going. So my ex-husband, we lost our youngest son. He was 11 at the hands of my ex-husband. He was driving drunk with both of our boys in the car, and it was a one car accident, and we lost our youngest son. He was in the hospital with brain death for 3 days. And for a woman to have to, as a woman guy, I was like, okay, well, I gotta take care of this man now. I have to take care of this man. I have to nurse him back to health. What's the hardest thing to do? Because I kept asking God, why take my son? Why not take him? Why take my son? Like he was innocent. Like why? And I held a lot of guilt for a long time because my question to myself was, if you would have just left, if you left this man, your baby would still be here. But being the woman that I am, I didn't want to be that bad person to take the babies away from their dad because they love daddy. Daddy was everything, no matter what he did. So I held in a lot of hurt, and he hit me a lot. We fought a lot. And so I'm not going to get, that's a whole book, guys, but we lost our son in 2018. I had to nurse his man to health, and he finally ended up in prison. And I was relieved when he was gone. But for the whole time, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I miss you and I love you. And this, just because this is what I think that my kids were expecting. They wanted to see this because this is still daddy and they love their daddy. But I realized, like, you deserve better. You deserve you deserve to be happy. Like, you're still miserable, even though he's not here. He's still got a hold on you.
Mm-hmm.
He has a hold on you. So this process, I'm so unbothered, Dr. Joe. When I tell you I'm unbothered by people and their nonsense. And this process taught me to love me more, like put you first, because your kids gonna be happy as long as they see mommy happy.
Right.
And they are. So they're like, Mom, you're doing great. You look good. You're glowing. And I'm smiling every day. I get up in the morning. I go work out. I'm eating my food. They're like, you are getting it, Mom. Like, you stop being smashed. And I'm like, it's not about being smashed. I'm like, it's not about being smashed. It's about my peace of mind. I am so at peace.
Right.
I am so at peace. And I thought, Dr. Joe, I was getting close to that before this process, but oh my God, God is so good. This process has changed my entire world. I just look at life. Before I would not want to leave my house. Like right now, I'm at a barbecue. I'm in my niece's room, and I'm at a barbecue. And I was back in the day. I was like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I don't even leave my house, guys, for a while. Like, it was that bad. Mm-hmm. But I am so. God is good. When I tell you he is good, he is good. Like, I am loving life. Like, I'm trying to live my best life, and I want to be here for a long time. I don't have any grandkids yet, but I'm hoping one day I have some, and I want to be here to be a part of my grandkids' life. So this process is like everything. Like, I'm not leaving.
Right.
I'm not leaving.
All right. Y'all
right.
all earning your spot. So, hey, we can't take that. You putting in the work. So the village is yours. So thank you for that. So, Don, I got a question for you, sir.
Yes,
how has it been being the only man in the group? Tell us about that. Like, how has that been for you? Like, give us some insight.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Dr. Joe. Let me tell you. Representing the men of the 40-day turn up, it's a burden that I'm willing to carry because it has to be done. Now, honestly, it really dawned on me. I just felt instantly like, hey, I was the big brother. I had my sisters with me, and it's like, we were all going to do this. You know what I mean? It really didn't factor into me, other than the fact that, I just had some comrades, you know what I mean? I come from a family. I'm the last of 5, and I had 2 older sisters. By the time I came on the scene, my brothers were, they were teenagers, so they didn't really want too much to do with me. So I've been around, ladies a lot, single mom home. It just really didn't dawn on me as anything different. I was comfortable. I was in my element. I felt like, just don't say anything offensive and you will be okay. So I just cherish being in this group. I love these ladies. I draw strength from their stories. They help me along. Whenever I can, give a word that's being helpful to me, I'll do it. And that's the beauty of it. We bounce off each other. We tell each other, how everything was a success and this worked for me or this didn't work for me. And, we just talk.
Awesome. That's
I'm
great.
happy about it.
Beautiful story. Thank each of you. Okay. I've got 2 more questions that I want to ask each of you. And the first one is, how do you guys feel about, and we'll start with you, Jotisha. How do you guys feel, or are you nervous about people seeing your journey in this process from start to finish? Tell me what you feel of that. And Jotisha, we'll start with you.
I'm nervous as all get out. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous because, like I said, I'm an introvert. I don't share like people in my villages, because I have a lot of villages, like my community, church. I have a lot of people. They know my story, but people outside of that don't know this. So I am nervous, but I'm embracing it. Because it's putting me out of my comfort zone. So, and it's helping me to be better. So that's awesome for me, because I don't like to talk to people about nothing. So
okay, all right. Kimberly?
I am nervous as well. Like I said, the most nerve-wracking thing for me is the weigh-in, because I try to be as transparent as I possibly can during the weigh-in because I want people to see the whole transformation of where I started and where I am and, you know, where I end. And even when we end, that's not the end of my story. So, being my family, everybody that knows us knows that my husband, my kids, that's my life. So seeing that's nothing for me, but the stories that I have told on camera, the transparency that I have revealed, and I have revealed some, you know, after the loss of my daughter, but there's a lot that people don't know that happened after that process, and some of that I have chosen to reveal on camera. So I am a bit nervous about that being out there, but maybe my thoughts on that is that when it's out there, I'm not the only one that has gone through that. There's someone else going through that too. There's someone else that has used food as a drug. There's someone else that has been on the verge of committing suicide. There's someone else. And if they see how I've come out of that, it will be a blessing and a testimony to someone else, because what we go through is supposed to be a testimony. We're supposed to show people how we come out of that process. And if we hold that to ourselves, then we really haven't passed the test. So putting it out there for others to see and helping someone else through their pain, through their process, that's when you get your true blessing.
Awesome. Okay. Don, and then I'll re-ask the question for you, Dash, because I know we got cut off. Don?
I'm so nervous. No.
No,
no, it's not.
Dr. Joe, what's the question again? See, they got me nervous.
How do you feel about the world seeing your journey from start to finish?
Well, somebody's got to see it. I mean, somebody's got to know that even if you've been, you know, dealing with type 2 diabetes for many years, even if, you know, the doctor is putting you on another drug because you have diabetes to help your kidneys, even if you've been to the doctor because you've had, you know, some pains in your chest and they put you on something to lower your cholesterol, you know, a statin, even if, you know, and this was the last draw for me to let me know that I'm definitely going to be in this group and I definitely want to get everything out of it. Even when the doctor gets you nitroglycerin tablets and tells you, take them in case you have pains more than seconds. I'm like, what? Anyway, I just feel like my story had to be told. I feel like, you know, whatever you see is, you know, how I live. You know, I'm just, you know, trying not to leave my dirty laundry on the floor for people to see when I do my weigh-ins. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be my authentic self. I mean, because somebody's out there who's got my life story and I want to be around for my grandchild, you know, my one and only grandson Zion. And I just want to be not only there, I want to be present. You know what I mean? I want to be active in his life, and not only his life, you know, of course, my children's lives, you know, they're mostly adults, except for my 19-year-old, but I want to be active and be around for them. You know, I want to be around for my beautiful wife, who's actually, you know, I'm blessed also to be in this journey with. You know what I mean? I want to give her back the man that, you know, she married. You know, she didn't marry Professor Clump. She married Dark Gable. You know what I mean? So I got to get it back, and I don't care who sees. Okay. You know, talk about me.
All right.
But you're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, that's that. All right, Dasha, and how do you feel about the world seeing your story, the good, bad, and the ugly, from start to finish? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm a little nervous about it because I am rather shy. I know I don't come off that way, but I value that I guess that quiet time and just, you know, being at home, being with my family, and then opening that up for everybody to see, and also seeing those insecurities that I have. Because, you know, like I said, with my job, I'm always seen as the strong one. So I don't know. It's going to help me grow through this whole process, because like I keep saying, I'm stronger than I thought I was. I have a story to tell. There's a member in my group now who's gone through weight loss surgery, and she's still in the program, seeing what I've been through. It's women everywhere. You know, we're always working, taking care of others, and not focusing on ourselves. You know, we commit to everything, but we don't commit to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be told. Women need to know everywhere that, look, I'm important too. And, you know, we take it for granted that, you know, we're always there to take care of others. But, you know, this year, just seeing so many deaths in my family and amongst friends with COVID, life is so short.
Yes.
And we have to be healthy. We have to eat right. We have to exercise. We have to transform and change our minds, body, soul. Just like you said earlier, Kimberly, it's everything. So all of that, you know, it has to be out there. And like I said, I'm nervous about it, but I'm also honored because God gave me an opportunity to share that with the world. And so I don't know who it's going to help and who it's going to bless, but like it's helping me, it's going to help somebody else too.
Amen.
And so I'm excited to be a part of that.
That's just fantabulous, gang. I want to ask you guys one final question, and then we'll wrap up. And it's the same question for each of you. We'll start with you, Jotisha, and that is, we're 4 weeks in. I mean, time went by. You know, like it's going by so quickly.
It's too fast.
Yeah.
What I want to know from you all is, how do you feel that, not that you're going to stop doing what you've been doing in 2 weeks. We know that. We know that it's a process. That's why we don't call it a program. We call it a process, because programs start and end, but a process is something that's ongoing. So we know you're not going to stop. We know you're going to move forward. We know that we're helping you to create the foundation of what you're going to build more so as we continue. But how does it feel to know that you got 2 more weeks before it unofficially comes to an end? How does that make you all feel? We'll go from you, Jotisha.
Oh, shoot. Well, unofficially, I don't want it to end, because because even though I know I'm gonna still do the things, I'm still gonna write my foods, I'm still gonna weigh everything that I put in my mouth, I'm still gonna work out. All these things, I know that I have to continue even after the 2 weeks. I have to, because I mean, why not? I mean, this is a whole lifestyle change for me. Like, I'm feeling so great. I haven't felt this good since I was 19 years old. So this is like, I have got to keep doing this, but it's like I'm gonna miss the village after the 2 weeks. I'm gonna miss I'm just gonna miss the Facebook group. I'm gonna miss not being in my regular group. Even though I've made connections with some of those women, I'm gonna miss just being accountable every single day. Like, it's like clocking in. Like, it's just checking in every single day, and I'm gonna miss that. So, but I know I'm gonna keep this process going even after the 2 weeks, but just missing the camaraderie and just the love from everybody throughout this whole village and the group that's what I'm gonna miss. So.
Okay, all right, Kimberly. Did we lose her? Okay, I'm sure she maybe some internet issues. We'll come back to Kimberly. Don, why don't you pick up that question?
Yeah, just to echo, I mean, I can't believe it. You know, just 2 weeks left, Dr. Joe. Just 2 weeks. I mean, I wanted to go on. I love the camaraderie I've formulated with, you know, all the brothers in my team. You know, I love this journey. And like you said, it's not a program. It's not going to have an end date. You know, I made a comment before in my team that, you know, hey, that's why we got to take this a little process at a time. It's not a sprint. It's not the 100.
Right.
It's a journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a trip to the grocery store. Right. It's a journey. And yes, I do know that, and I thrive off of that, and I love that. But I hate the fact that it's going to end, Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
Dr. Joe, you got to do like a 6 month. Where are they now? Follow up. Season 1. Here's how Don looks.
Where are they now?
Look at him. You know what I mean? We don't even recognize Don now.
Right. Where is he?
He turned to the side and went behind that pole.
Well, he leaned in his eye.
So yeah, it's going to be it's surprising that it's going this fast, and you know, Dr. Joe, you got my number, holler at me, every once in a while, when this whole Corona thing is over, I can see you and I, former Fred, kicking back with an ice cold bottle of Dasani.
Yeah, all right.
Aquafina, whatever your choice of drink is. And, we just talk about this season's crops and how they coming in, we just kick it.
That'll work. Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Dasha, then we'll end with our captain.
All right. I don't know how to feel about these next 2 weeks. I've learned so much. It's like, okay, it's going to end. And then what am I going to do?
Yeah.
These last few weeks, these last couple of months, really with the pre-work, it has just changed everything. Mm-hmm. And so my goal is to just, continue life as is. Mm-hmm. So, still waking up, prepping the night before, gotta wake up and get ready for this, gotta do this, gotta do that. And then just, taking the bull by the horns, every single day. Mm-hmm. But I am going to miss having the support and getting the feedback, like we do. But, you just, like you said, we're children in this village. And one day we have to grow up and move on.
So we don't want to leave the nest.
But we don't want to ever leave.
All right.
We don't want to leave the village.
Dr. Joe, we like that teenager who's gotten so old. Hey, it's time.
Right.
You got to go.
You really may have to kick us out, but we
right.
Okay.
Go on out there and be successful.
All right, Ms. Kimberly.
I'm a bit sad to see the actual program end, but as I said earlier, for me, it doesn't end. My husband and I are already talking about how do we continue? I recruited 2 more people yesterday that are ready for you to open the next session. So, and as for this group, I'm still the captain. That group me is still going to be there. I will be still checking in on everybody to make sure that they continue and we don't. And I'm happy about that, because that for me, when I did it by myself, I didn't have anybody to hold me accountable. So if I wanted to cheat, I would, and I just start all over. But right now I can't. And what I say and my testimony is about this process is that I have learned. So I've done the W things, but I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. I wasn't really learning how to balance food and what I needed and things like that. And through this process, I've learned a lot about that. So I've learned how to continue this throughout the rest of my life. So although the process ends, for me, it doesn't end, because I plan to, by January or February of next year, I'm going to hit that 100-pound club, and you'll see a whole different Kimberly. I'll be back to where I was before.
Well, that's
my follow-up.
Fantastic. I want to thank each of you, and I want to say how proud I am of each of you. We didn't get into tonight to the listeners to results, how much weight they've lost, specifics. You guys are going to have to watch the whole season to get all the tea, because we spill the tea. But I wanted you all to see who they were. They've been a great group to work with. I'm so proud of each of them. It's been seamless, and I want to thank each of you. You've done great things, but I know you got more work to do as individuals, and I know you're going to do that. So thank you, Jotisha and Kimberly and John, for being our special guests. All the folk in the village love you. Y'all are official bona fide stars. And we
Stop it.
All right. So y'all have a fantabulous day. Enjoy your 4th, and the rest of you all stay on. I'll give ending comments, and then we'll move forward. Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See y'all later.
All right. Well, gang, there you have it. The cast of Transformed. I want to thank each of them, Dasha and Jotisha, Kimberly and Don. Shout out to Lynette. It's been a great ride. I want to say a couple things before we sign off. To those of you who are having end of the process anxiety, that's totally normal. Every group who's come before you didn't want it to end. All right. But now many, if not most of them, have gone on to even improve their lives that much more in a positive way. Know that all of the questions like, well, how do I do this? How do I do? All of that will be addressed. So I don't want you all to allow your anxiety about finishing to stop you from running the race that you're supposed to run. I got you. I've been with y'all since day one. And I'm going to give you everything that you need to be successful in moving forward. All I need you to do is focus on what you need to do this week to make this week better than last week. And the way we do that is by eliminating all of the mistakes, all the errors. All right. The next thing that I want to say is I want to talk about when will it be released. And we don't honestly know when the first date. We are gathering production now. So the studio, all the sessions we've had, the testimonials, the stories, the shoots, all of that is being done. And now what is being captured needs to be created in a story. My goal, just so you all know what we're thinking, I'm not going to give a date and time now, but what I want to do is I want to be in a position to where the episodes or the first episode airs post graduation of this session, but pre-start of the next session. So somewhere in between August, September. That's just telling y'all what I'm thinking. All right, just so you'll know. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do in order to get it done. I'm excited that we are able to take pieces of this great process and allow people glimmers to see what their lives could be. Because at the end of the day, that's what Jotisha, Dasha, Don, and Kimberly are. They're basically beacons of light that other folk can look at to be inspired to do for themselves. So all of their hard work, all of their struggles, all of their obstacles that they have endured and been vulnerable enough, strong enough in their vulnerability to show you, hey, that makes them heroes. And they have earned my respect through and through. Each of them are a great group of individuals, and I can't wait for you all to see their whole story. We're going to do our best to be certain that we capture it in its authenticity, all right, and accuracy. The last thing I want to say, gang, is understand what I'm trying to do with you. Understand what I am trying to do with each of you. I'm not trying to get you to the promised land. I told you once before, in the Old Testament, when God called Moses to lead the people out of Egypt and into the promised land, Moses never made it to the promised land. God allowed Moses to see the promised land, but not enter it with the people. Joshua had to be raised to finish what Moses started. I told each of you, my job isn't to lead you into the promised land. I'm Moses, but you're Joshua. You are the person who's going to lead yourself into the promised land. My job and what I'm focused on is almost like a parent with children. You can't be there to birth your child, or a man be there when your child is born, raise the child as a toddler, as an adolescent, as a teenager, send them to school. At some point, they got to go. And the vast majority of what your children will do will be when they are out of your house. As parents, our job as parents is to create a foundation for our children to succeed and go. The Bible talks about children as being as arrows. And every parent wants their children to do better in life than what we have done. That's my job. I'm not going to be here when you get off maybe all the prescription drugs. I'm not going to be here maybe when you hit the 100-pound club. I'm not going to be here when you become that person that you never thought you could be. But what I can do is help to create the foundation, the support system, the knowledge, and the direction for you to achieve it. I'm not Joshua. I'm Moses. I'm like Dr. King. I may not, I've seen the promised land, but I may not get there with you. That's what you all have to understand. You see, I've seen it because I got to manifest my own promised land. Some of you have been living a certain way your whole lives. And some of y'all are expecting your whole lives to be completely different in 40 days. And that's not, you're not going to be there in 40 days. But I can give you the infrastructure for the rest of your life. I can point you in the right direction to tell you this is what it needs to look like. I oftentimes hear my dad say, son, when I'm gone. And for those of you who, we all have parents, and I'm certain y'all know when your parents start talking that death talk, you never want to hear it. But when a parent fails, any father who does not prepare his children for his absence physically in their lives has failed them. You see, Dad would always say, son, when I'm gone. He said, what I'm telling you now, it may not make sense to you. Y'all heard this because you got parents. Some of them maybe have passed away. May they rest in power if they have. Some of your parents may be living. Maybe you lost one, but the other is living. But whoever you are, you know what I'm talking about. My dad has said to me time and time again, what I'm teaching you now is not going to make sense. But one day, son, when I'm gone, you see, it'll have a meaning to you that it doesn't have now. You see, that's how it is with us. The lessons that I have taught you, that I'm teaching you, and that I will teach you are lessons that have not fully manifested in your consciousness yet. You don't fully get it. And that's okay. But one day when I'm gone, you see, when I'm not here cracking the whip, going off on y'all on Monday, telling you ain't done nothing, you see. When that day comes in the future and you 50 pounds down, 60 pounds down, 100 pounds down, no more medication, totally different person. What I'm teaching you now is going to have a meaning like never before. You see? Like never before. So Understand that. And that time is coming, and it is nigh. But you're going to be all right. You'll be prepared to be successful and to be victorious. Now, in the morning at 8 a.m., I'll be live right here with your weekly announcements, not here on YouTube, but in our Facebook group. I want to give a shout out to each of you who have been watching and you're not in the village. Welcome. If you want more information about the village, you can visit us at journeylife.tv to hear about the 4-day turn up, as well as the Journey 3.0 process. There's a free book on the website. You can download it. Doesn't cost you anything. You can join the list. It's not a registration, but it's just an information list where when we open up the next session, which will be the final session, and you are interested in being a part, you will have the opportunity to join that list, and we'll be communicative with you about what the next steps are, how to do that. This particular process is worldwide. We've got individuals in 40 different states here in the United States of America, as well as 8 different countries. We've had participants in the United Kingdom, England, Germany, Japan, Saudi Arabia. We've had participants in Jamaica, in Canada. We've had participants, I'm sure I'm missing a couple of more, but this is a global process. There are groups all over the world, literally. And if you have the technology to watch me now, you have the technology to change your life. Okay? So I want to give a big shout out to my amazing wife, Lynette, and as my co-producer. Couldn't have a better co-producer. I want to give a big shout out to all of our cast members, Don, Dasha, Jotisha, Kimberly. And what I need you all to do is 2 things. The first thing that I need you all to do is pray for the success of Transform. I don't know about television. I don't know anything about how to put together an episode. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what it's going to look like. But what I do know is when God breathes on something, and when God is in it, and when the intent is pure, which is to what? Transform lives. That even if and in the wrongness is still right. Okay. So I need y'all to pray that it's effective, that it fulfills the will of God. Not me, because I'm too ignorant to know. Our vision as human beings is limited to 2 facets of time and space. All we know is the past and the right now. It is only God who sees in our tomorrow. It is only God who sees our next week. It's only God who knows what we don't know, which makes our faith in God incumbent in the right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm clueless. I didn't know what I was doing when we started when I started the journey. I wrote the journey on a napkin. I wrote the journey in my first book, and I read this to y'all. In the end of it, I didn't even know what I was writing. It was almost like the Lord was allowing me to be prophetic It says, I was inspired to take the contents and format of this book and organize and develop what is called the journey, which is what? Specialized groups, small group sessions, individual sessions, personal life coaching and mentoring. It didn't even exist. And so many of my peers told me I was crazy for writing this. Said I had lost it. Said that this wasn't godly. You understand that? But here the same folk who said all of that trying to get in the next session. Even when you see in life, when you are a person of faith, and righteousness, the byproduct of your faith coupled with righteousness is blessings. The whole world is confused about what to do. We all need a model. We all need to benchmark. What are they doing? Let's study them and redo it. How do you do this? Oh, I got to have so many followers on Facebook. I got to have so many followers on Instagram. I got to do this. Listen, that's not the key to life. The key to life is two things: faith and living righteously. You remember what I taught you about the rhythm of results? That the synchronicity, sin, same, chronos, time. When I'm living righteously, I'm in sync with the Almighty God. God gives me things that I don't even understand when I get it. God puts people in your life that you don't even know why they're there. God takes you out of situations and you're crying and you're complaining, and then years down the line you're saying, Lord, if you had not done that, I wouldn't be here where I am today. The key to life is faith and righteousness. See? So gang, it's been an amazing ride. Don't let off the gas. Even though we're 2 weeks away. Word of God says, be thou faithful unto death, for I will give thee a crown of life. It doesn't say be faithful until death. See? Why does it say unto and not until? Because until takes me to a point, but unto takes me beyond the point. So don't be faithful until you graduate. But be ye faithful unto graduation, meaning what? Beyond it. You see? Every day I'm getting letters, emails, people tagging me on Facebook, folk who've lost. Hey, I started the 4-day turn up 6 months ago, and I'm 60 pounds down, 80 pounds down. I'm in the 100-pound club. There's so many folk in the 100-pound club. I've lost count. There's so many folks who are no longer on prescription medication. I've lost count. It's so many testimonies. I can't even put it on the website. So all you need to do is keep being focused on the foundation that is being implemented in your life, and you will be just fine. So gang, I'm a hush now. Thank y'all for coming out. It's been an amazing night. Shout out to Transform. Keep Transform and the success of it in your prayers. And God willing, I'll see y'all in the morning with your statistics report at 8 a.m. sharp. Until then, be well and be blessed. And we'll see you on the next one.